So earlier this month, workers at Frito-Lay Factory in Topeka, Kansas, went on strike, just protesting terrible working conditions. It was ridiculous. They were forced to work over 80 hours a week. In fact, we'll just go to the segment to let them better explain what happened.
Millions of consumers have been laying low for most of the past year and a half amid a global pandemic, which, understandably, fueled increased demand for comfort food. The maker of Cheetos, Doritos, and Tostitos scrambled to keep its snacks on store shelves, but in at least one plant, it reportedly came at the cost of its production workers' well-being. Members of the bakery, confectionery, tobacco workers, and grain millers Local 218 are in the midst of a strike at the Frito-Lay plant in Topeka, Kansas, over what they say are unreasonable working conditions, the Washington Post reports. Union officials say the plant has implemented forced overtime and 84-hour work weeks. Many employees say they work 7 days a week for up to 12 hours per shift, only to return to work 8 hours later. Workers also allege that their request to hire more workers have been rebuffed, their safety concerns dismissed, and calls for hazard pay, bonuses, or other compensation unheeded. Frito-Lay, the snack foods division of PepsiCo, took in $4.2 billion in sales alone last year, as its parent company's revenue and stock price have soared. Frito-Lay says it made an offer to the union earlier this month that would address workers' concerns, including a 60-hour workweek cap and a 4% wage increase. The company says it is committed to safely continuing operations in Topeka with the workers that remain, reportedly about 300 of its normal staff of 850. Talks between the union and the company are set to resume Monday. I'm Andy Zoll, and this is IEN Now.
I was planning on doing a video on this when it broke earlier, but there was a bunch of political commentators, for lack of a better word, on YouTube that had progressive, should I say, political commentators on YouTube that had already discussed it. So I kind of just let it fall by the wayside. But that actually worked out perfectly because there's been an update, and I actually want to speak on what happened with the update and kind of give a perfect example of this is a perfect encapsulation of what the problem is with news, especially still the left. All news across the board, this is the issue, and it's all they do is point out the problem, right? And I can prove that to you all by this story update on what happened. So Frito-Lay workers in 19-day strike in Kansas with contract that guarantees 1 day off per week. So we did it, y'all. All our striking, all I'm saying our, but you alls, people who are actually out there in the street, all of your, going without and, what I'm saying, fighting for what you think is right, got you a single day off a week. So here we go. Workers at the Topeka plant had called on the snack food giant to end forced overtime and 84-hour work weeks when the walkout began July 5th. Hundreds of Frito-Lay employees are returning to work in Kansas, ending a 19-day strike within the weekend ratification of a 2-year contract that guarantees them at least 1 day off each week and raises wages. Okay, I see what you're saying. And it also raises wages. So workers at the Topeka plant called on the snack food giant to end the forced overtime and 84-hour work weeks, saying that it had been pushed to the brink as the factory revved up operations during the pandemic. So, of course, this they have been pushed to the brink. They just had to do this to you all workers. You all had to be forced to work this hard, Many staffers worked as much as 12-hour shifts with little as 8 hours in between, according to the statement the union's internal president, Anthony Shelton, issued earlier this month. They are forcing the current workforce to work double and triple shifts, Shelton said. Workers do not have enough time to see their family, do chores around the house, run errands, or even get a healthy night's sleep. So that's interesting. That's what they were dealing with before. And, apparently things have actually changed. The company had called the union's claims, quote, grossly exaggerated. And earlier Frito-Lay offer was voted down, which the company said illustrated the union leadership was out of touch with worker concerns. I actually do agree with this, but, we'll get to that aside later. About 2/3 of 850 workers at the Topeka factory joined the walkout that began July 5th and ended July 23rd. They will return to work this week. So they've already been at work for a little while now. In a letter to Frito-Lay published July 2nd in the Topeka Capital Journey, Sherry Renfro wrote of a toxic work environment driven by, quote, iron-fisted management. She alleged that employees were made to work in dense smoke and fumes during and after a fire because they were told, quote, it's just smoke. She said that workers did not receive hazard pay during the pandemic and that their safety concerns were brushed aside by supervisors. And when a worker collapsed on the line and died, quote, you had to move the body and put in another coworker to keep the line going. So, of course, Frito-Lay wholly rejects this, but obvious. We all know, especially working for a corporation, and this more than likely is true. But yeah, man. So at the end of the day, man, they got a day off, and strike's done and it's over. And what I want to make a point of is that sounds rather anticlimactic, doesn't it? And I don't think. Not only should it have been this way, but I think there was much more we could have done, especially independent progressive news could have done to push for more. And this encapsulates a big problem that independent media and the news in general has. And that's all we do is point out problems. And at the end of the day, nothing of real substantial change happens. And this is a perfect example. The example I want to give you is if you look here, look right here, man. There's people who all reported on this that I watched personally. I watched their segments, right? We have Humanist Report. Mike Figueredo did a story on the Frito-Lay. Jimmy Dore did a story on the Frito-Lay strike. TYT did a story on the Frito-Lay strike. Breaking Points with Saga and Crystal did a story. And Kyle Kalinske. These are all the people I watched, and of course I watched some mainstream media stuff too. And the common denominator out of all these stories, you can watch them for yourself. I don't want to edit up too much, you know what I'm saying, but you can watch these segments for yourself. At the end of it, all that happened was they presented the story, right? Here's what's going wrong. This is what's happening, right? Instead of giving solutions to those problems, or the solutions they did give were just, we should strike, you should stop, you should just get out and stop working for those people, basically, kind of. Most of them didn't even say that. They were just, here's the story, crazy stuff, right? All right, moving on. And for me, like I said, I'm all about solutions. What could these people have really done to actually get real change? And was this enough? Was it one day off, a week guaranteed, and a very minor, pay increase? Was that really enough? I say no. What those workers should have done, what TYT, Jimmy Dore, Humanist Report, Breaking Points, Kyle, all of them should have done is said, hey, they look at how they treat you. They don't care about you. They have forfeit their right to own your labor, period. Since they forfeit their right to your labor, what you do now is you create a cooperative staffing agency, because there was, all the people, especially if they're getting a general strike, we're getting some momentum on a strike, start a cooperative staffing agency and say, nah, man, you have forfeit your right to own our labor. Now we have a profit margin. You know what I'm saying? If you want to use our labor, you have to come to our business and sit at the table, and we have a discussion and decide what can we, what are we gonna get paid? You know what I mean? The working conditions, all that. You know what I'm saying? You actually have a seat at the table, because it's, my business is coming to sit down with your business. You know what I'm saying? All the workers are represented, and not a union, because a union is a half measure. Union still, these people own. You don't own your labor with the union. You get what I'm saying? You're not participating in any profits. You know what I'm saying, with the union, and that's what's important, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you need to have a seat at the table of us. What ownership was really about. It's more than just about money. It's about being able to decide, you know what I'm saying, when they're deciding, do we want to outsource all these jobs? You know what I'm saying? When people are deciding whether to outsource your job, you know what I'm saying, or fire you without telling you, you know what I'm saying? When that decision's coming to pass, you should have a seat at the table, so they can't fire you without telling you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest issue that we need rectified, and that the left keeps missing, where they're not talking about the seat at the table. And if you want to, and if your argument is, it's hard, it's going to be hard, it's the same issue with politicians. Like I said, you know what I'm saying, we can't force them people to do nothing, bro. We can't force these people to quote represent us. They're not doing it. They haven't been doing it. I'm over trying to play. You know what I'm saying? I think they represent people with capital. What do you not have? Capital. What can you have? Capital. Get what I'm saying? And that's through ownership. That's through owning your labor. You know what I'm saying? And if they can't afford you, let's say we can't afford to do that. All right, cool. Then maybe you don't need to own that business. Maybe we need to buy you out. Just like the government subsidizes these other companies, we have a business. You know what I'm saying? We'll just go be able to sit down with city leaders, because like I said, we have that capital. You have, you know what I'm saying, they have to listen to you. You know what I mean? When you have some ownership, when you're actually starting to, when you actually have some equity, that they have to listen to you and tell them straight up, or either you come to the table and we negotiate, because now we have a profit margin. You know what I'm saying? You could have treated us right, could have, paid us right, but now we have a profit margin we have to think of. We have overhead costs, you know what I'm saying? We have, some healthcare stuff, benefits to calculate on our end, you know what I'm saying? So you come sit down to the table, we can just negotiate what, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, the contractors and a cooperatively owned contracting company, all the contractors own the contracting company. You get what I'm saying? Like that's, you know what I'm saying? That's how I look, Yeah, we're contracting out our labor. What do we have to sell? Our labor. That's what it is. You get what I'm saying? Like, you you want somebody to work in your factory, you have to buy my labor from my company. You get what I'm saying? That's the 4D chess. That's what we're missing. If you look at everybody's story, it was just, look at this problem. It's bad. All right, well, next time. Or you also be out in the streets like, oh, this is terrible. Like, if you look at the structure, look at actually what was happening. People were outside of the building and people were inside of the building. The people outside made no change. What the people outside screaming got? They're, of course, because they need people to work. They had to come to some kind of agreement, but because those people still had no say so, it's still just take what's given. It's like, here, you want this? And they're like, no, I don't want that. All right, fine. How about one day off? The unions say, I guess that's kind of good enough. Oh, nah, son, it's nobody's going to fight for your life like you are. Nobody's going to fight for your time like you are. They were saying how they had no time to spend with their family, their kids. You know what I'm saying? It's probably your life right now. You probably come home too tired to do anything because you're busy making other people rich. You're using your labor. The one thing you have, time doesn't stop for no man. You spending it, you know what I'm saying, being unhappy, hoping that maybe you win in the lottery of life and not have to work so goddamn hard anymore. Everything goes right, even though there's so many things out of your control, you know what I'm saying, that can go wrong. I'm saying the things that is in your control, we have to take back control of. You all have to help me, you know what I'm saying, with getting this message out to, if you think that these people, Jimmy Dore, Mike Figueredo, Kyle Kalinske, so if you think these people are our allies, then bring this message to them. Us regular people, like, hey, instead, there's a general strike coming, right? There's a general strike coming in October. I've seen people talk about. I love the idea of a strike, a general strike. That's amazing, but that can't be the end, right? What has to happen in tandem with this general strike is once you get the ears of everybody, everything stops. General strike, we stop everything, right? Everybody has your attention. Once you have their attention, then you hit them with the, hey, this is the issue, the ownership part. What regular people, the important thing is people who clean the toilets, mop the floors. You have to understand somebody has to do it. We all understand. We all agree somebody has to clean the toilets. What the difference is nobody's going to value it the way you do unless you demand that. Hey, I get to, just because I mop toilets or just because I clean the toilets doesn't mean I don't get to make any I shouldn't get to make any decisions. It's ridiculous. Just like imagine if you were on a ship and you had to, pull the mast and the sails and, you had to scrub the deck. You probably don't, you don't get to go in the captain's quarters and look at the map and discuss where you're going. You're just on this ship, flowing wherever it takes you. You know what I'm saying? You get no say so in nothing. You know what I'm saying? And everybody thinks that's the way. It doesn't. Not only does it not have to be that, it's not the best way for things to be. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make that's your life. You were born on a ship, the ship of life, and you had no choice in the lot in life, and you can't make it up there to the top. You know what I'm saying? Because you're destined to be down here. Just because you have to clean toilets, something we all agree has to be done on this ship. They say you have to live worse than, you're saying you eat less than, you don't get to make any decisions. And I'm saying, bro, what is the person steering the ship going to do? They're going to steer the ship and clean the toilets if you stop? No. They need you to clean those toilets. They need us to go to make the food. And I have pride and we can have pride in that. We just have to have pride in it and take it back and be like, nah, son, I'm not finna play this game with you. I get to just when we talk about where we plotting this course, I'm sitting right in there with that meeting with you, bro, because this can't be done without us. And if it could, then fine, then do it without me. But like I said, if you're working in these companies with these people, it's like, oh, people will say, oh, this could have been done without you. But was it, right? We're here now. You did help, you know what I'm saying, create those profits. You did that, right? Or you're doing that. You're dedicating your life, your time, the one thing you have, right? You know what I'm saying? You have to demand more. We on the left, the media on the left, the progressive media on the left have to demand more. We can't just be stenographers of here's a story and you have to try and push our politicians. The thing, we just push them and push them and push them and get the right people elected in office. It's not going to happen, man. Nina Turner is a perfect example. I truly watch this race like a hawk. If Nina loses, I believe that the political system is very similar to the police system. People who, if you believe that the police should be defunded, and when I say defund the police, I just mean everybody fired, rework the rules and revamp it. And then if you want to reapply, see if you know what I'm saying, you can get down with this new, not racist, not BS version of the police department, then for sure, get back in there. You know what I'm saying? The quote unquote good cops that are there, which I don't believe there are, they'll be able to come right back in. You know what I'm saying? All these BS people, y'all done, son. You know what I'm saying? I think the same thing has to be done in politics. It has to be from the ground up, man. You know what I'm saying? From the ground up, everybody got to get out of there. Bernie, everybody needs to leave, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you like them, it's all reapply then. Run again. You need to run again once we tear this stuff down, you know what I'm saying? Get money out of politics. Everybody elected, get kicked out. Y'all, we can all run again, I guess, if you want, you know what I'm saying? But everybody gone, and we restart this when you don't get to use, you know what I'm saying, the backing of billionaires and things like that. You get what I'm saying? That's what needs to happen with politics, or else nothing's gonna change. And I'm gonna leave it there, man. You know the drill. If you agree with this message, if it resonates with you, make sure you check out MartyandtheBro.com. MartyandtheBro.com. That's you know what I'm saying. This is a cooperative style podcast trying to popularize the idea of ownership. The fact that we don't need, we not only do we not need, I say we don't need politicians. I say we don't need politicians. What I really mean is, I don't think that we have the power to get any change through elected politics without having ownership, without having some equity. You know, and I think this is what we have to do first, then move over to the elected politics side, or do it at the same time. Of course, we can walk and chew gum at the same time, but we're not doing that. We're just focusing on elected politics. All of the left is just elected politics, strike, get out in the street, don't, and it's just like, what? The left, we're missing that personal agency message that the right has on lock, even though they have it on lock in the wrong ways, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things you can do in your personal life that will change your life right now for the drastic better right now. They're like, so within a year, you know what I'm saying? There are things you can do, and we need to get that message out, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And, also, I'll just, one more thing. I'm sorry, check out the MCSC network. We've been being suppressed on YouTube. Other left liberal outlets and people are just, this is what they do to this is what they do to us. This is what they've been doing on the left, to people on the left since, World War I. So it's nothing new, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm working on a video to expose this. But yeah, man, if you really appreciate content, make sure you check out the MCSC network on YouTube. Make sure, check out, again, Marty and the Bro Co-op, MartyandtheBro.com. And yeah, man, support what we do, man. I'm trying to get a different message other than, I've been on YouTube for years. I was just soaking in everything, you know what I'm saying? And I'm big on solutions. I see all the problems. I agree. I'm a black man from Texas, man. You can't like, y'all, there are problems y'all have no idea about. Let's just put it like that. There's some stuff y'all have no clue about, man. You know what I'm saying? I understand the problems, man. What can we do about it? I'm telling you, there are things we can do about it. And we got to get that message out. Y'all got to demand that these quote unquote allies, these progressive people, also get this message out. People like Jimmy Dore have had on Professor Richard Wolff, the guru of cooperatives, you know what I'm saying? And it still hasn't clicked to him how this is the starting point, like when he has a live show, Jimmy Dore should have a cooperative incubator, you know what I'm saying? Like, he should partner with a cooperative incubator and bring them to that town and get people at that live show. After that live show, hey, y'all, by the way, you know what I'm saying? Here's a section, here's the show. And after the show, here's a section to link with other people in your community and get with this cooperative incubator and see what y'all can do to get together and actually, you know what I'm saying, start a cooperative in your neighborhood and go on to the next place and go on to the next place. We have to get change in people's lives actively, you know what I'm saying, while we're doing this. People are like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's whatever. That's real 4D chess. That's what it'll really take, man. If these people are really talking about change, they're really serious about it, then all right, let's do something then. You know what I'm saying? Like, just sitting behind it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be on YouTube. I don't want to be a public figure. I don't want any of this. I don't want any of this smoke, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with cleaning the toilets, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather do that. You know what I'm saying? But you gonna respect me while I do that. That's the difference, right? You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to clean the toilets. I got pride in what I do. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to mop the floor. Okay, but you're going to respect my mind when I do it, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's what you have to have. You know what I'm saying? Everybody going to demand it but you. You know what I mean? I'm demanding it, son. You know what I'm saying? I got your back. You know what I mean? We going to, I will fight somebody for you. You know what I mean? Like, nah, they going to respect us, bro. We going to fight. Or we going to fight. they're gonna respect us or we gonna fight. You know, and that's the energy we got to come with, man. And I'm just leave it at that, man. Yo, you like what you just saw? Make sure you like, share, subscribe so the algorithms can algorithm or whatever sorcery they do. Follow us on our socials, links all down in the description, and let's keep rocking.